So I will try to be as short as possible for just presenting this CLAND Convergence Institute. What it is, it's a kind of virtual research center or research network, which is funded by the French National Science Foundation around the campus of Paris-Saclay, which is a new university located about 30 kilometers in the southwest of Paris. And members of this research and training network are the main French organizations concerned by climate, agriculture, and forestry. It's clear that at the global scale, when we look at the terrestrial biosphere, almost 90% of the area is under strong human appropriation and disturbance. If you make the sum of all the biomass appropriation from crop, wood, grass grazing, harvest, it's typically on the order of 15% of the global net primary productivity, perhaps more. We have some regions where the land use change is massively changing the carbon stocks. And also, we know that human activities are severely disrupting the global biogeochemical cycles of nitrogen through the Haber-Bosch production and spreading of reactive nitrogen into fertilized cropland and manure, as well as phosphorus. It's also using and changing water resources for irrigation. And as Rémi mentioned, we are here to, I think, discuss and present the kind of biophysical effect that human land use is providing to the climate through a number of mechanisms like changes in albedo and more generally changes in the surface energy budget. So in CLAND, we have three main kind of research questions. The first one is to work on natural-based solution or land-based mitigation options in the context of low warming scenarios. We are using models, machine learning, meta-analysis. The second question that we try to address together is how to sustain or better adapt the production of agricultural and forest commodities in the face of climate change, in particular in front of extreme events like recent droughts we had, for instance, in Europe over the last few summers. And the last question is more about the possibility to find a kind of compromise or Pareto optimum between mitigation and adaptation, both in terms of minimizing economic cost, but also minimizing environmental impact, because all land-based mitigation and adaptation measures, they have also impacts on river pollution, for instance, if you look at nutrient cycles and pesticides and other environmental impact which are not related to the field of climate change directly. So in short, we are funded for a period of 10 years, and we use this funding mainly to hire young scientists, postdoc and PhD students. About 30 of them have been hired. They are all co-supervised by different researchers in different teams of the network. And we also hired 2 permanent positions last year to work exclusively on the CLAND topics. And in our campus, we have several labs which are working more on plant science with genomics and really very fine process understanding, as well as with animal science. And we will try to collaborate more with them in the future to have a better understanding of fine scale animal or plant level process for their implications in terms of global or regional emissions of greenhouse gases or resistance of crops to climate change. And last but not least, we have been organizing several times a year, several international workshops, and we are very happy to have worked with Rémi and colleagues for organizing this specific workshop on today's on albedo and climate change mitigation. I also want to publicize our next workshop, which is the next week on machine learning tools for the study of climate change and its impact.